admin, like I said, this is the admin dashboard. Looks really boring and complicated. If there's a WordPress update, it'll say at the top, your website is currently running on this version, upgrade to this version. Just click on it and then click on update and it'll update everything. While WordPress updates are happening, theme updates are happening, and plugins are being updated.
What's a theme?
A theme is, so there's WordPress, and then on top of that there's a theme, and then on top of that there's plugins. So the theme is, yours uses a blank theme, so it's kind of hard to explain what a theme looks like on yours, but it's the platform on which the website is built.
Okay.
Or rather, not the plugins, there's the page builder on top of that, which is, then the page builder is how you edit everything, so how you edit pages. So if there's an update to WordPress, it'll be here. Plugins are here, and you'll see like a little red circle with a number in it, and that'll say, that shows that there's how many plugins need to be updated.
Yeah.
To update plugins, just go into plugins. My internet's going to go really slow now, isn't it? And you just click on this one. I just click on this and then update, apply, and then they'll all update. While stuff's updating, you might see that your actual website has a website down for maintenance, be back up soon. Takes seconds. If that message doesn't disappear, let me know sometimes, or let Twister know, because sometimes it's just like a small text file that's left on the server sometimes, and it's nothing to be worried about. It's just like a text server that says show this because it's been updated, and I've only had it like once where it's been stuck, but it takes like 3 seconds to remove. Anything like that, like you can just give me a call, or you can send, if it's something urgent, you can send me an email. Like if the site goes down, you can send me an email. Normally, if something stops working on the site, it's because a plugin hasn't been updated. So you just might need to go and update the plugin, and it will work. And that's normally formatting. If formatting looks a bit odd, it's normally Elementor that needs updating, which is the page builder. Themes. To update the theme, you'll normally get a message with Ocean WP saying there's an update available. But I would say just go into appearance and themes like once a month, just to check.
I want the notes afterwards.
Okay, so there is one available. So to update the theme, you just click on update now. Oh no.
So it was in appearance.
In appearance, themes, and then it just says update now. You don't need to update these ones. Keep these on. I mean, you wouldn't know how to delete them because you have to delete them from the server. But this is quite good to test if something goes wrong on the site, updating the plugins doesn't work, or deactivating the plugins doesn't work, which is what I'll be doing. I'll do for you. Then I might have to switch to one of these themes, which are the default WordPress themes, and see if it's like a conflict. But normally it's just a plugin that's not working properly. But it doesn't really happen very often. I say that. Watch it go down today. So now that's updated, so that's all good. You can ignore this message. I'm not using WP Forms. WP Forms is like the standard free form builder, but it's really complicated to use. You might as well just use one on the page. Makes more sense. So nothing else you really need to use. Security. This is a security plugin. Which again I kind of monitor, but this just says if there is any issues. This tells me that what's changed, anything that's changed on any of these, but normally it's just random stuff that doesn't really matter. It's not, you get like a red error message up here if there's anything wrong on it, so this just scans.
Should we tell you if we get a red error message?
Yeah.
But
you'll probably see something on the site like I don't know, like this lady's site that she hasn't updated. It's got like random code at the top. When you click on it, it downloads a file to your computer. But I should have fixed it straight. Like if it was you, I'd fix it straight away. But because it's her,
fair enough.
Because she won't pay me for it. This is like just a security plugin, but it stops anyone from, or it flags if anyone's trying to log in using an admin repeatedly wrong. I think the admin's set up as my email address, so if there's any suspicious activity, I'll be alerted anyway, and I can have a look at that.
Do you get alerted by email?
Yeah. This ideally Twister should update your PHP, which is like WordPress, language, programming language. This called WordPress files modified. It's normally like this bloody error log, which is just like, of course the error log's going to be updated because if there are any errors, it's going to be changed. And there's always like every day there's errors, which is nothing to be concerned.
The PHP, do they need to update that now?
It's not essential, but there at some point, if there's a new WordPress update, it might not support the PHP version you're on, or plugins might not support the PHP version you're on. So it's always good to keep it current. I think the current one is like 7, or the most used one is like 7.2. So that's it is 5.6.4 is quite out of date.
I just take a picture and I just ask him to do it, send him a screenshot.
I mean, I can do it if he wants me to, but I'd rather not play around with the server. So yeah, that's a security plugin, and it's like you can look at last logins and you can see who's logged in. I mean, it's all going to be me and Twister at the moment, but then when you start logging in, it will start tracking that and tracking who's logged in. So like I said, if anything does change, then I can see who's logged in and see where they've logged in from.
Yeah.
So like you can see here, mine's Virgin. I'm on Virgin Internet. Twitter's obviously Spitfire Internet. I was at my parents', so I was on BT Broadband. But if someone's logging in using your name, either from an IP address you don't recognise, so you can see that my IP address, well actually my IP address has changed. My IP address is always the same. That's where I've logged in on my mobile. Then it's likely that someone else is using your username. But again, this is something that I'll monitor. Or if there's a problem, then I'll look at this rather than you having to translate it. Hummingbird. So Hummingbird is the plugin that speeds up your site. So it makes it faster by adding things like compression, caching. So what caching is, when someone visits your website, it will preload all of the assets from the last time it was loaded. So for sites like yours where nothing really changes that often, having a caching plugin will just speed it up. If something changes a lot, so if you're like a news website, you'd want it to automatically purge the cache every time you update something. Because it's always being updated, but yours won't. That might be pictures that are updated for you, or just bits and pieces. If you do update anything, then I just recommend you going to Hummingbird Clear Page Cache. Otherwise, you might not see the changes on your live website, but you'll see them on the back end, which will be really confusing.
Right.
So if you don't see any changes, just go to Hummingbird Clear Page Cache, and it will just clear everything and make it so it shows all the new changes. But you won't really need to do that often, particularly often. And that's kind of the only things you'll ever they're like the only things you'll ever need to use. In terms of editing pages, so there are a couple of different ways you can do this. So you can just go onto the website and browse as if you're just looking around the website, and then you can edit a page from there. So if I just go onto the home page, you can see this black admin bar at the top. So if I want to edit the home page, you just click on Edit with Elementor, and then the page builder will pop up. So then you can see a preview of everything that's on the site, or everything that's on the page, and then you can just click on any of the parts to change it. So if I want to change the slider, just click on the little pencil icon, and then you can see the different slides here. So I might actually, it's quite annoying that when that first loads, you get like a weird green background. So that's the image. To change the image, you just click on that, and then you can either choose one from the media library or upload a new file from your computer. You can change the text just in here. So this is styled to be uppercase automatically, so you need to change that. And then you can, if you wanted to, you could just like add a subheading and it will just add it in there in your font. And then whenever you make a change, just click update. So then you can see the link, the button link, you change that there. And you can just change any of these, and they've got a background overlay, so you can just change this here, because the white doesn't always, and let's see, I get an email every time a post is updated. But yeah, I would maybe I can't remember what there was before, but just so it's the text is a bit clearer. So I might turn all of these alerts off. Otherwise I get if you're changing loads of stuff, I just get an email every single time. Then the carousel. So if you want to add more logos in here or change them, these pictures need to be a square. So you might need to resize them in Photoshop or any other way of editing them, so you can edit them.
How to do that?
Either Photoshop or there's a program you can download that's like a free image editor called GIMP, GIMP.
Okay.
And you can just, it works the same as Photoshop, so you can just change the size of the image.
Is there a specific size that it has to be?
So because these are quite small, I would say 600 pixels by 600 pixels max. Because you don't want to display a really high resolution picture here, because they're going to be shrunk down. So there's no point having a really big picture for something that's displaying that size. Otherwise, it just overloads the site. All images, like any of these images, any of the carousel images on the gallery images on the pages, really you want to make sure they're under 100 kilobytes. So some of the ones you sent through were 5 megabytes, which is 500 times too big, I think.
100 kilobytes?
Yeah, so 100 kilobytes. And the way you do that is you can make them at most 1200 pixels wide. So this is 1200. This carousel should be 1200 pixels, so that will display full resolution. And the head image is 1200 pixels wide, maybe bigger, maybe 1500 at the most. But then when you're saving it, reduce the quality to 5 or 6, because that strips out the colours that can't display on computer screens. So most images that you take with your phone camera are designed to be printed out. They have all the colours for printing them out, but obviously you're not printing them out on a computer, and computers can't show as many colours. So just save the quality as 5, 6, and that will reduce the size of them, but won't affect what you can see on the screen.
And in doing that with images, what's the best program to do that with images?
Same, GIMP.
Okay.
Can do that. You just file, I think it's file, save as JPEG, and then you can reduce the quality.
Okay.
Try not to use PNGs. So screenshots and things like that come out as PNGs.
Yeah.
But PNGs have got lots of data that doesn't need to be in them, so they're huge. The logo is a PNG, and that means it's got a transparent background. But because you've got a white background, I could have used a JPEG. But if you just ever did want to change the banner to blue or another colour, it wouldn't have a white. It wouldn't be in a white square. So I always tend to use PNGs for logos on websites, just in case there is the opportunity if they do want to change them later on. But yeah, these are I've just made these into squares, 600 by 600, just with a white background.
That would be something that we would be updating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So otherwise, if they're long and thin images, they might not sit in the middle. And then all these images. So this bit is where it gets a bit complicated, because it shows differently on mobile and desktop. So they're already set up to show on mobile or desktop. So these are all the mobile ones. If you click on the 6 dots, this edits the section. So everything's done in sections and sections, columns, and widgets. So this is one section with 3 columns. So you can see if you click on the corner, that just edits what's in the column, and then click on the blue pencil, and that's the widget, which is inside the column. So to create a new column, a new section, you just click on the plus, and then you click on the red plus, and then you can choose how many columns you want in there. So say 3. And then you can get one of these widgets. So if you want an image in there, you just pick that up and drag and drop it. This doesn't work on Microsoft Edge or Internet Explorer, this page builder I've recently discovered. It only works on Chrome, Firefox, Safari.
We use Chrome.
Yeah, so that'd be fine. But if you do see a little caution mark in the corner, or it doesn't let you drag and drop, it might be that the browser's not supported. But yeah, it works on Chrome and Firefox. So yeah, just drag and drop. There's so many different widgets down here. So this is Elemental Pro. So I maintain the license of this myself. I've got an unlimited license. So I just pay like $200 a year just to keep this updated for all my clients, because it's just not cost effective for you to have your own license. It's like $100 to have your own license. I mean, if you wanted to transfer it to yourself, you can, but I just maintain it for everyone. And I use it on my site as well, so there's just no point spending an individual license, paying for an individual license. You can change the column sizes by dragging the sides. So you can just choose an image here again, and I'll just drop in there. And then you can just delete things by right clicking, just delete the widget. So to change whether something displays on mobile or desktop, which you probably won't have to do because everything's set up, but I'll show you how to do it anyway. You just click on the 6 icons. This is editing the section. Didn't mean to do that. And then in advanced and responsive, you can see that it's hidden. This bit's hidden on desktop, but shows on tablet and mobile. Whereas this one, it's these ones. Sorry, this one is hidden on tablet and mobile because you've got this one showing, so you don't want them both to show up at the same time. And I think that's on one of the pieces of feedback was that I think both was showing, or there was some repeated stuff.
Yeah.
It's because I hadn't changed the responsive on it. So if you see it, if you kind of see double, then that's because you haven't changed the responsive settings. But again, these are just hover widgets, so you just change the picture here, and in style, the background is just set as blue, and that's kind of what comes up.
600 by 600 as well.
Yeah, although these are just square images, because these images are used for, so not 600 by 600, these images are used for the headers as well. So these are actually, I think these are like 1200 by 1200, because otherwise they'd be too pixelated at the top of the banner on the pages that they correspond to. So it really depends what you're using the picture for. I mean, you can have two separate ones. So you can have 600 by 600 for these, and then on the main page you have like 1200 wide. It's up to you whether you want to have one or two pictures. It doesn't really make any difference. It's just obviously an extra space in the server. I don't know what the capacity of your server is actually, but your website isn't actually that big, even though you've got all these pictures, because I've resized the pictures. So it's not that big. I've realised I only put 3.
No, it's all right. We'll do that. We just need to know how.
Yeah, so if you click on that, again, click on it, you just add an item, and then you just put the text in, and then you can just change the name, and then you don't have to put a job title in, or if you want to put a job title, or the company, I think I put the company in, or their location. Yeah. And then just update, and it just does everything else itself. Yeah. So it's just a matter of copy. You can just, if you've got it on a document, you can just copy and paste it, or like a.
Will it? Could you copy and paste it off of Google?
Yeah.
And it will automatically put it in the correct font.
Yeah.
So they're set.
Yeah. So I've set everything up. So everything is styled in your fonts. Yeah. To make it as easy as possible. So all the fonts and things. So the default colours are set up here. Yeah. The fonts are set up here. So the primary headline is Montserrat 700 width, and then body text is Montserrat 300. So all the fonts are set up. Okay. So if you created like if I just create a new, I'm just not going to save these changes because I've forgotten what I've added in. So if you just put a text block in there, it's already your font. But then if you did want to like change the colour or something, you just click on corner, then go into style, and then you can center it, change the alignment, change the text colour. But by default, they're your like brand fonts. And then if you wanted to put different text, different font in, you can just change that there. The weight, so you can have it bold. Transform, that changes it to like uppercase, lowercase. Style, italics. Decoration, overline, underline, lots of different options here. You can change the line height and change the spacing, which you probably wouldn't want to do, but like a standard is like 1. So, and then these are just buttons. So these, I've all set up templates for product pages. So if you want to add a new product page, you can just, rather than, I'll actually show you that in a minute, rather than showing it to you now while I'm on the home page. But yeah, these are buttons. So you just click on the pencil icon again. This is the text that goes in the button, and then the link that goes to the corresponding page. This is again just another image carousel like the one at the top. I'm not going to update that, but that's kind of everything on the home page. Again, just a button that goes through to the page.
Mm-hmm.
Does it all make sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So if we just go back to the admin panel. So the other way that you can edit pages is just from the dashboard. Just go to pages, all pages. And then there's just a list of all the pages here, and then just edit with Elementor. Or if you want to just change the page heading, quick edit, and then you can just change the heading and change the URL. But I wouldn't recommend you change the URL because then that'll go to a page cannot be found. So then you have to add a redirect in. Mm-hmm. So if I show you how to edit one of these product pages. It's exactly the same principles. They're all using the same widgets. They're not particularly different. So to change this background image of the header, it's actually a background for the section. So you click on the 6 dots up here, style, and then you can see the picture here. So then again, just upload it or pick one that's already in there. The text is automatically pulled in from the page title. So if you wanted to change the page title, you would need to change it on the page, doing that quick edit, rather than changing it in the page builder. And this text, again, just click on the pencil icon to edit that text. And then the image carousel.
We will be changing this.
Yeah, so if you click on the pencil and then add images, and then you can see edit. If you click on edit gallery, you can see all the files that are in there. So you can change the order of them, you can delete them, or you can add to the gallery and just upload the pictures you want to add.
Cool.
These pictures need to be resized to either be landscape or square, because like I showed you, and if they're portrait, it just makes the like if it's a landscape picture show, it always goes to the highest picture, so the carousel adjusts to the highest picture, so it will just looks a bit silly.
Yeah.
So they need to be square or landscape, as close to square as possible, really, because there are quite a lot of square images in there. In most of them are square images.
And what size should they be? Sorry.
So because they get bigger in a light box, which you can't view in Elementor, they should be like maybe 800. You don't need to have full. They don't. The light box isn't like full width, so I would say 800. If I just go to
8 by 8.
800 by 800, or just 800 wide.
Is that for the
Carousel images?
Yeah, so if you click on there, like 1200 would be cover the whole screen. So 800 wide's fine.
Actually, on Chris's computer at work, the image opened up so large that you couldn't read
the text.
The description at the bottom.
Okay. That might be because the image is big. Let me write that down. Should have got my notebook ready. Or it might be that I just need to change the settings on the carousel. What do you know? Can you find out? Would you be able to find out what resolution his screen is? Like what?
Okay.
Because it might be that I need to add what's called a breakpoint, which says if the screen is this size, shrink it down, show the light box this size.
Yeah, I'll find out.
Has he got a big screen? Or is it like a wide? Is it?
It is wider, longer than
Yeah,
deeper,
it is.
isn't it? Yeah, but it's not the size of your Mac there.
Yeah, if you can find out the resolution, then I can do a breakpoint so
Yeah.
that it. resizes, so it's not as big. And that's another thing actually on these images. Oh no, nice site audit. So these images, if I go to edit again, they've all got a caption down here. So this just corresponds to the page that they're on, unless they already have a caption signed. So some of the same image might be used on multiple pages. So it's just got the caption of the original page it was on. Does that make sense? So you can't have it. You can only have one. Yeah, you can only have one label on it, but it's still going to provide a reference point for customers to say, I've seen this picture. So just make sure they've all got pictures.
So how do you add that caption?
So you just click on it and just just text, type in there, and then just insert gallery, and then that will just those pictures. If you update them or new pictures are added, then that will just update. So there's not really that much.
If we delete pictures out of that, it won't automatically change the numbering, will it?
No.
We'll have to add a new one into that space and give that, because we were just thinking we would weed out some of the not so good ones and update them with new, better ones.
Yeah, that's fine. And if you remove them out of the character, they're not removed off the site or anything. They're like, so if they're on one and not on, they don't get removed off the server or anything. They still stay in the server.
So if it's on another page, it won't come off the other page.
It will still stay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've kind of probably shown you a bit of a bad example here because this is quite a short page. Some of the pages have lots of other units, but I need to remember which one. Probably this one. PPC's probably got a lot. Yeah. So it's all the same. This is just text, 2-column template, just for the A-rated. And then these are just buttons without a link. So that's why they don't, in the future you might have pages for each of these. And if so, you can just pop the link in here just to make the site even larger. Again, just a button. That's actually, so a lot of buttons, you'll get this pop up, and that's only because I've made this so this button is consistent throughout, so you can just add it as like a template. But you can, if you want to change the text or change the link, you just click unlink, and then that becomes an editable thing. All of these, again, they're just buttons that go through to the PDF link. So you have to upload, if you want to add a new brochure or PDF, you have to upload it first to the media library. So if we just go back to the dashboard, WordPress dashboard, media, add new.
I'll write this down.
And then select files, and then just choose the PDF.
To add a new PDF,
media library.
Media.
So if I just choose, I'll delete it after, I'm just going to put a Word document, even though that won't work. I don't think it will let me update.
Media upload?
Media, add new.
Add new. It's to add a new PDF.
Or just to any given page?
Yeah, if we're getting new brochures in, actually we'll have to do that with the smart page.
If I do find a PDF because it won't let me update. Right, so I'll delete this afterwards. It's completely unrelated. But you can see that it uploads. And most of the PDFs that you supplied are really big, so I've just used, you can either use like an online PDF shrinker just to reduce the size of the images, because any PDF is a lot of them are 20 megabytes, which is not the end of the world, but just consider that it is taking up space in the server, and it doesn't need to be that big, because again they're really high quality, so you can print, so people can order for print. So just try and reduce the size of them to as small as you can get them, really. So I use Adobe Acrobat to do that, but that's because I've got a license.
Hiya. Yeah. No, I've got no idea. I've never had anything to do with Netflix. Oh. How do you know that someone's tried to log into Netflix? How do you know that someone's tried to log into Netflix? Did you get an email? Right. I'll have a search. Okay. Okay. Change it to a really good one. Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye. Bye. Why would someone try and log into our Netflix account? What is going on?
I don't know.
Random
So
stuff.
weird. Like, what can you even do with Netflix? What, upgrade it to premium? I suppose someone could just make one Netflix account.
Add their account.
So they can add it to their devices to your account, so they can watch Netflix for free. But surely it would show. Does it not show the devices that are linked to Netflix?
It said it's from somewhere, a location Medway. I reckon someone's got.
It sounds like your details are being sold in the dark net. Black net.
Yeah.
You can actually look up to see
if our details are there.
Yeah. Is it Chrome? Chrome, I think. Either Chrome or I'll have a look after this. It's all on video. It's like Chrome or Firefox. They've got this service where you can put in your email address and it will tell you if your details have been sold online.
Okay. I'll write that down.
I'll have a look after we've done this. So weird.
I'm sick of it now.
You've just got to change all your passwords.
That's so random. Netflix. Who would even think about that?
Is it the same password though?
I've got no idea. I never set up Netflix. I don't even. Yeah, well, you put it in once, don't you? And then you just
click log in.
Yeah.
You just don't even.
Why would you even think that someone would log into your?
Mine's my Facebook, I think. So once you've uploaded a PDF, you click on edit and you can get the URL. So you just get this file URL, and then on the where is it? On the button link, you just add the URL that you just pasted from the media library. And when you click on it, then it will just open in a new window. So I've set it so it opens in a new window.
Cool.
So to change any of the URLs, if you ever add a URL for like a page or a button, I wouldn't recommend you if you're interlinking to your own site. You do it as a new window. But an external one, you might need to change it to open a new window. You just click the settings button and just click open a new window. Don't use the nofollow because nofollow links.
How do you delete one of those brochures? Because I know on one of the pages it is the same brochure.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So you can if you've only got one.
There's two next to one another. We want to delete one.
Okay, but you still want to keep that one.
Yeah.
So you just click to delete a column. You just right click here and then just delete.
I'll write that down.
And then I think what I've done is I've changed the padding or the margin on both sides of the section. So you can just click on the 6. This is a section within a section, which makes it even more confusing. And then you go to advanced and then you can see the right and the left. And I think I changed it to 300. Yeah, 300 and 300 just makes it so it's a bit smaller, a bit in the middle.
Going to advanced, was it?
Yeah, so advanced. So click on the section, advanced, and then change the padding
to 300.
What's that do?
Changes the size of that sort of
the
PDF
button. So if you
So
delete,
what are they like that?
So when you delete, so if you need to delete one, you just delete the column. But then, I mean, you can keep it like that. There's no problem keeping it like that, but it is quite big. So then you can just change the padding. Change to 300, 300, and then that just pulls it in. Because this button is set up to span the whole column width. So you could have it as...
Are all the other pages that size then, when there's just one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I just click on the button, you can see that alignment is like to span is justified, so that just pushes it out to both sides, so they're both the same. If you have it as like centered, which is it's fine if you want like that, but you can see that one's a lot longer because the line's a lot longer. So this just makes sure it's by justifying it, or just making sure it's equal on both. It just spans the whole column. And again, like these, it's just a carousel. You can just add logos or change logos.
I think those were the main things we wanted to do, was images on carousel, logos on the carousel, and text, the review box. The main things we were thinking.
I'll just show you how to change. So this is called the top bar. If you're like, I don't know, opening hours ever changed, you just, any page where the top bar is displayed, which is every page, you should be able to edit it in Elementor. And then it's just here, so you can just change this text if you need to change it. It's just like what's called an icon list, so you can just change those. Just click on the box and then just, like if you just wanted to change it. And then it's the same for the footer. So at the moment the footer is a list of menus. So you can just click on, hover over this, edit the footer. Actually, I'll show you how to change the menus as well. So then you can just click on here, change this text, and these are just all menus. So you just choose the menu that is set up in the menu section, which I'll show you in a minute, and then that will just dynamically change that. I'm not going to update anything. So yeah, I'll just show you menus, like how to change things in menus. So if you add a new page, or like if you ever do add a new page, you go into, and you want it to show on the menu, which is like also known as the nav bar, or I don't know what other people call it, the tabs. A lot of people call it tabs. I don't know what you're talking about, tabs. That isn't like a technical term. So you just go into menus. And then here you can see there's lots of different types, lots of different menus. So if you go into main, and then each, it's pretty self-explanatory really, but this is like the top level nav, and then this is the drop down. So because yours has got what's called a mega menu, so it's all set up for the mega menu, but what that means is that there's like columns. So because there's such a long list of services, so I've set it up so there's a mega menu, so there's columns. At the moment it's set up for 2 columns, but if you wanted to add another one, you do that by adding a sub column, like a secondary column called column 1, column 2, column 3. And then you need to, on the top level drop down, this is already enabled, so you won't actually need to do this. But you just add so to add that, you just go into custom links, put a hashtag, or you could just leave it as that. And then column 3, add to the menu. Oh no, I do need to do that. So just do a hash. And a URL that's a hash just means it doesn't link to anything. It's like an unlinked thing. And then whenever you add anything to the menu, it goes to the bottom. So if you can I'll just do it on here. So I'll just add this as a sub column of the sectors, and then you can add the pages. So if you add a new page, it will go to the top of the most recent. If it's not there, then you just go down the view all, and that'll be a list of all the pages on your site. Click one, add to menu, and then it'll go to the bottom. And you just drag and drop to where you want it to go. I'm going to save it and show you what it looks like, and then I'll delete it again. So, it hasn't done it. Excellent.
I know what you mean though.
But yeah, then I think it's because I haven't set it as 3 columns. So you can just do that. But if you have any problems with that, let me know. Yeah, if you need me to do that, I can do that for you. Like, these are complicated things that you probably wouldn't need to do very often. So I'd say probably just get me to do it. But yeah, the mobile menu is different because the mobile menu doesn't have the mega menu thing. It's just the long list down the side. So if you want to edit, if you add something to the menu, you need to add something to the mobile menu as well.
I'd ask you.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mess around with this.
We'll just leave the menus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else really to show that you're going to need to do.
All we wanted to do was change
blogs.
text. Blogs. How do we add them?
So just go. It's in post. So blogs are in posts.
Write this down.
Posts. Add new. And the easiest way to do it is probably using the WordPress rather than using Elementor. Just using the WordPress editor. So you just put the title. Title goes here, and then you just type in here. But I'd say it's probably a better idea to write it in Word or something first, and then paste it in here.
So if Tony's writing them,
yeah,
Tony will write them, and then what do we do? Copy and paste his text in.
Yeah. So you just paste the text in, but then you can also like put images in.
Do you think for now would be better just asking you to do it?
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it.
So
I mean, it's like
stylise it.
Yeah.
So we'd just give Tony the ideas, Tony write it, and then he passes it on to you, and you just charge us whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think that's probably best.
Yeah. What I might do is I might just
because you can give it a certain look.
Yeah, I might just it will just be included in the blog price. It's not like a big job.
Okay.
So yeah, you just approve the text and then let me know when it's good to go. And then I can just drop those in. And then just add a featured image, because the featured image will show on the blog page above the
in the header.
So it won't go in the header unless you want it to go in the header. You can say on mine it goes in the header on my website.
But then not every image would work, would it?
No. So say this one, say that as a featured image, but where it shows is actually I'm going to publish this and then I'll unpublish because I can't. You won't be able to see it on the blog page.
Got a couple of pictures of them at the Fit Show. It's quite sweet.
And whose name do you want them to go up under? Charlie's or yours?
What do you mean? So
the author name.
Oh.
Or just a generic SGC glass.
SGC glass.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So yeah, the featured image shows here.
Lovely.
Cool.
If you don't have a featured image, then it's the title that shows.
And then if we want to share that to LinkedIn, we just copy the URL to that page?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can add share links. So I can add a plugin that allows you to share. I need to get rid of this actually.
Would that look better for people?
It just makes it easier. It's just one click and then it's shared.
Yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great. Thank you.
Share icon.
Does that mean that other people can then share it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great.
So it's just easier.
Yeah.
Right,
They've found someone called the Glazing Blogger who blogs like every second day on glazing. So I thought, well, give that information to Tony so he can take a look and get inspiration. He's already reviewed the Fit Show where we were, so
yeah,
excellent. Bit of plagiarism.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't be looking that. So yeah, I think that's it really.
Yeah. Lovely.
Everything is submitted to Google. Actually, I'll have a look.
None of those changes have been saved, have they?
No. So I've submitted it to Google. Let's see if they've. Actually, I need to change the. Shit. This is what happens, right? When you change your URL, I have to resubmit it to Google. It's fine though, but you can see I can just change the URL. It's fine. So yeah, 44 pages have been discovered. So they've crawled it. They crawled it on the 25th of May. So hopefully you should start
seeing some ranking.
Yeah, I mean it might take a while, but because you've already got some search presence, it should be a bit faster, but they've indexed it.
That. So do you know the SEO company that we work for? I phoned up to cancel and I spoke to our accounts guy and he's like, you know, just out of interest, that's fine, but why? And I said, well, we've just had a new website made, and he went on, he was like, wow, this is, and he did advise about 3 years ago to make a page per product.
Yeah.
He's like, this is all singing, all dancing, this is, you know, fantastic, this is, you know, like so rankable or whatever. And then he wasn't trying to talk me into it, but he's like, you know, we could do a lot of this now. And I'm like, tell me what you can do then. It's £60 a month. I'm wondering just to let them...
What, for him to do what with it?
Well, he said that they would do keyword research. If there was anything coming up, they would sort of change. I said, I don't really want too much text change because we put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you want it to crawl for those keywords that we've already done.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, if they change, like, until you've got ranking for those keywords, don't change it.
Yeah.
Because you want to get known for that keyword, and then you can change it to a one that's maybe got a higher number of searches.
Yeah.
And a bit more competition, because once you've got a name for yourself for that keyword, I wouldn't recommend you keep changing it.
The only reason why I think maybe stay with them is that our old website wasn't very good, but we organically reached quite high in a few search terms, so it makes me think that whatever they were doing because our site wasn't written very well.
Yeah, we'll see what they come up with, but like I would just let it get. Like I would
don't touch it.
I would for like a month or two. I would just let Google index all the new pages
and
for how they are.
We also have changed our services now, but at no additional cost. We look at what we offer our customers.
Yeah. And
he said we will now do things like look at trends and stuff and give you blog ideas and things like that. So I'm like, okay, we'll just see what he gets. £60
a month, it's worth it.
It's not. If it was more than that, then I'd be thinking, well, no. But I did say to him, I don't want any text changed at this point because we have put a lot of effort into it. Yeah. And I just want to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's like for £60 a month, you might as well like see what they come up with.
I just think, given that the old website was really quite naff, and then things like replacement glazing, Essex glazers, London glazers, all of those, we were
ranking for.
We were top on page 1.
But the thing you need to think about is also how many people are searching for those keywords. Like it's great being on page 1 for keywords that you have put in there, but actually how many people are searching for blazer. So it's like, I think this is the thing that people get. It's called something weird, isn't it? Vancouver 9.
What is that for?
That's your Google Analytics. This one you see, no, dropped. It's because it's being re-ranked. And actually that's probably because that was all me, like editing the website. I need to actually exclude my
I've been looking at it a lot as well.
My thing.
Oh, can you exclude?
You can exclude IP addresses, So
could you exclude my home one then?
Yeah, so can you send me your IP address?
Yeah.
If you just search when you're at home, what's my IP address?
Yeah,
in Google, like if I can search
on computer.
You can't exclude. So your mobile's got a dynamic IP address, which means it changes all the time because depending on what, you don't always have the same IP address for your phone.
Will you do that as well? On computer.
But I would say like anyone in the office who's going on the website a lot, exclude their IP address.
Do yours and do every computer in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Do that tomorrow.
And just send me a list of them and then I'll exclude them. So just say what's my IP address and then it just tells you in Google what your IP address is.
Yeah.
I'll exclude those. So it's
Brilliant.
Not tracking your...
So he needs the login details.
The guy there?
The SEO guy.
I would say set up an account for him.
Okay.
Do you want him to edit stuff? Or do you just want him to be able to view stuff?
What do you think?
Depends what he needs to do. Like, I'd say maybe make him an editor.
Yeah.
That way he can edit pages and stuff.
Yeah.
But he can't mess around with plugins.
Yeah.
Or delete stuff. Just because, well, I mean, I guess he knows what he's doing, but I can add him now actually.
Here, this is what his email.
Martin Topping.
We have worked with them for years, and we worked with them.
He needs to be a full administrator.
And then we worked for them years ago. We worked with them twice. Now I get paranoid about search. Why would they try and log into our Netflix account?
It's just weird.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But it's probably they're just trying to find any accounts probably that have got the same password. Right.
You know, they couldn't find anything on our home computer, anything on any of the work computers, but somewhere.
So it's somewhere, isn't it? Shall I stop this now?
Pardon?
Shall I stop the recording now?
Yeah.